Hello everybody, Alex here from Snake on Exotics, and today we're doing substrate checks. So we've got 3 animals we're going to be putting on Leo Life, but we've got to make sure that they don't go around eating the sand. So there's a couple of things we have to go through to check because it can be a bad gene that gets passed down in some of the animals. We've also got some frozen delivered today, so we'll open that, see if it's actually frozen. That'd be a good start. And then we'll go around, we'll do that with the animals, we'll keep an eye on them, make sure nobody's eating any sand, and I'll explain why I do it this way and why the animal does it as well. So yeah, let's crack on and crack on with the video. Whoa, whoa, whoa. So please like, subscribe, comment, and share, ring the bell for me, and I'll see you in a sec. Woohoo. Wait, so let's open her up, see how we're doing. Driver's literally just this second dropped it off, which is handy. So it hasn't been sat next door at all, it's here waiting for me. So we should have a nice bit in there, but it's not in a poly box. So when it's in a polystyrene box, it keeps all the cold in and keeps the heat out. I'm pretty sure it's just in a plastic bag. Oh, scrappies are around. I'll play them up sometimes. When they go around with the horn, I'll go out with my horn, blow it, and then make some think there's other scrappies on the estate, so they drive around even quicker. But shh, don't tell them. Oh, we got a big bag frozen. Oh. Sounds frozen to me. Lovely job. Nice and frozen. Oh, this is my frog as well. I might not have shown you this. Laura got me this the other day. I love it to bits, I do. It's making me sound like a frog going ribbit, 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 ribbit. So let's open this. Put it all in the fridge. Oh, there we go. Put this all in the fridge, and send it to the customers. Okay, so what we've got to do is we're going to add substrate to Bearded Dragon, Montanus, and the Fasco leopard gecko. What we have to do, Fasco is probably going to be okay, but we will do the check anyway. What we have is sometimes captive bred animals are different slightly to wild ones because natural selection happens in the wild and it doesn't happen in captivity. So, for example, diseases, stuff like that. A weaker leopard gecko that's more prone to diseases would die in the wild because there's no treatments, there's no medicine, there's no one looking after it or anything like that. So that bad gene of being weak to diseases would die out in the wild, and you then have stronger wild ones. But in captivity, you would use stuff and you'd use treatments and what's the word? Medicine to make them better and help them survive. So, but in the wild, that wouldn't happen, and that one would then pass away. But in captivity, there's a possibility that animal may be bred, it may pass on those bad genes. That's what happens with the sand. Some animals, they have something wrong with their brain or something like that, and it makes them eat the sand, like leopard geckos and bearded dragons. In the wild, that gene wouldn't exist because the original one that had it would eat sand in the wild, he'd pass away, and he wouldn't pass on his genes. But in captivity, that happens sometimes. So in captivity, you may have one that's got the bad gene of eating sand, and then because we will then go, he's eating sand, he's going to get impaction. We'll put him on a sand mat or put him on tissue or tiles or something like that. That animal then carries on to adulthood, and then sometimes people breed them still, not thinking that they're passing on the bad eating sand gene. So what I do to test for that problem is we put them on sand for a little bit, but we watch them for the whole time. So for at least an hour, I watch exactly what they're going to be doing. I know it works because I found out one that did have the gene by doing this technique. So what we do is we put them in on the sand and we watch them for an hour. Any time in that hour that we see them go down and eat the sand, if it's the animal's first time on sand, they are going to give it a little test, lick and stuff like that, figure out what it is. They've never been on it before. So it's very important that we watch them, because in that first hour is when you're going to be able to tell. So what I do is we put them in, we watch them, and then they'll be having those first couple of licks. What we do is we take them out straight out the tank. You hold them, play with them, let them walk around for a little bit, only for like 5-10 minutes, then put them back in. If they do it again and they start eating the sand again, you repeat the process until you get to like 4 or 5 times. Once you've hit 4 or 5 times and you put them back in and they still go straight to eating the sand, they've got the bad gene of eating the sand. So there's nothing you can do. They have to go on a sand mat or tissue or tiles or something like that. You can't physically put them on the sand because they're going to get the impaction, but you have to make the mental note not to breed them because you're going to pass on that bad gene. Unless you're fine with doing it that way, then you're okay, or you're not planning on selling them, because that's different. And if you're doing it for yourself and you're happy to put them on tissue and stuff like that, that's a little bit different. But I wouldn't personally breed anything that I thought had that bad gene. I wouldn't do it. I wouldn't. One, because you're not producing the most healthy of animal, and because if you ever did sell them, you're selling an animal that has a slight problem. So I've cleaned this, well, I've took the tissue out anyway. I'm gonna give it a wipe down now, and then we're gonna put the sand in there, and then we're gonna watch him. We're gonna take him down, put him on the sand. We're gonna see if he does his first test licks to see what it is, and then we'll go through it all, and then I'll build the other ones with you, and we'll do the test with them as well. Whoa, sorry. So at the moment, he's up on his log. So I can put the sand in and spread it all about while he's up there. And then we can put him on the floor and do the test afterwards, which works out great for us because I need to document it for you. If he was on the sand already, he might do it when I'm not filming, and that's what we don't want to do. We want to do it so you can see exactly what I do. A bit more sand, not too much. Just a scattering of sand, just a scattering of sand. I usually put, for this first test, I won't go crazy, just in case I've got to take it all out again. So we just put a nice, I don't know, 10 mil at the bottom, just so it's all covered. Now we've got to do the test. So he might not be bothered by the sand at all, but we're going to see how we get on. Okay, little dude. So I'm just going to pick him up nice. He's like, no, I want to stay on the log. And I'm going to put him on the sand. Okay, buddy, what do you think? He may have been on sand before, so he may already know what it is. He may already know that it's just sand. But what we need to know is if it's their first time, like baby geckos, it's usually their first time on sand because they're notorious for it, and it's easier to keep them on tissue as their babies. But beardies, they can go on to sands virtually straight away. A lot of people keep them on sand straight away. He doesn't seem bothered by it at all. He hasn't even looked at the sand, he hasn't licked it. I will just reposition him again. Oh no, he's too bothered by us at the minute, I think. So I'm happy that he's not even bothered with the sand. He hasn't even given it a second look. So I'm going to put his water back in. I'm going to swap sides. I had the water in the wrong side before. I had the water right underneath the heat bowl. So every 5 minutes I'm topping up his bowl, which is no good. So we're going to put veg in the middle, and then we're going to put a nice rocky outcropping around it. So it keeps his veg actually in the bowl, which is handy. And another little hide, even though he never uses the hide, right in the corner. So now we can go on and do the exact same test with the leopard geckos. The Montanus is the one I'm most concerned about because he's the youngest. Fasco's an adult. I'm assuming she's been on Leo Life before. So let's jump on, get these ones stripped. What I'm going to do is I'm going to get them stripped, put the sand in, and then I'll show you the test, and then that's it. So you know, I am still watching him for an hour. We only did a shorter stint. Oh, there he goes, okay. So I'm still watching him. He's eating, he's tasting it. He's seeing what it is. Perfect, so we're gonna be getting him out now. Hang on. Oh, he's rarey. He's rarey. Come on, little dude. You can't eat the sand, okay? So at least that's distracted him, if anything. So that's distracted him. He stopped eating the sand. And what we want to see is if he goes back to eating the sand again. And if he does, we distract him again. And then if he carries on, then he's got to go on a sand mat or what's it called, because he may have the bad gene of eating the sand. Hey, buddy. I'm going to chuck some locusts in for him as well. That might help distract him. I put locusts in. He's bombing around after locusts. So he's up on the rock now. So I'm going to carry on keeping an eye on him. That's what, it was perfect really, he did what he did. Because it shows you, I can show you exactly what we needed to do. See, we distracted him, I couldn't really get him out because he was flaring up. And I didn't really want to stress him out, and I've only got one hand to grab him. And while he's like that, I didn't want him kicking off and me only grabbing him with one hand. So, we'll make sure keep an eye on him. And I'm going to strip these ones down and we do the same test for the leopard gecko. So let's put him down. What I may have to do is just shut the glass and let him chill out on his own. So that's what worked out best for the beardie. As soon as I shut the door and he has, he's a bit stressed because I've just stripped his tank and he's a bit stressed. Okay, mate. There you go. So I'll leave him now. He's right up in the air, so he's not going to eat any sand. And keep an eye on him. We'll come back, see if he's doing it. If he is, we'll do the out and in technique, and then hopefully that will stop him. Beardie's here now. Hasn't ate any since. He's been running around after the locusts. He's had a bite of lettuce. You can see he's got a little chunk right out of there. He had a bite. So I'm happy about that. You just checking what it was, weren't you, geese? Hey? Yeah, I think we've done that well. I think he's going to be fine on the sand. We've got to keep an eye on him. He's my most concern. Fasco should be fine being an adult. He's been on sand already. But we're going to do the test because assuming makes an ASS out of you and me. So let's do it properly. Okay, so there we go. I haven't even put any of the stuff back in. She's licking around. Oh, there you go. Okay. She's figuring out what it is. But she's only doing little tiny licks. She's not biting it and munching on it. There's a difference between eating the sand and tasting the sand. It's when you see her chewing on it, that's when you got a problem. Okay, so we just take her out for now. Okay. There we go. We'll just hold her for a little bit. Oh, let me zoom out. There you go. See, she even licked my finger. They lick everything. To figure out what it is. Okay, so she may have forgot about the sand now, so we put it back down. There you go. Off she goes. No more licking. We've distracted her from what she was doing. And now she's more interested in just exploring the tank. So let's get the rest of her stuff put back in. She loves this log. She loves going underneath it. So I'll put that back where it belongs. Yeah, she's not. She's just literally climbing around now. She licked her hide. She might lick that. Test its hers. Yeah, there you go. Little lick test. They lick everything. And being an older gecko, I'm not too worried. Still have to do the test, but I'm not worried about her eating the sand, really. I always do check though, always. Let's go back to Little. Still in the bush. So what we might do, we might bring him down afterwards, just to make sure, because I'm nervous now that he hasn't done any of the tests. Yep, she's still good. So I'm really, really happy with them. Check Beardy again. Still sat in the corner. He'd have been going around eating it by now if he was going to do it again. But I will check every day, keep an eye on them for a little bit until I'm 100% sure that they're fine. Let's see if we can just put him on the sand a little bit. Come on, little man. You okay? Down you go. Okay. See, he may have been on sand today. He may, well, at Peregrine, where we got him from. So I'm not sure what they keep him on. I assumed it would have been sand just for easiness and hygiene. Oh no, for paper, sorry. Especially a baby. But you're not bothered about it at all. You're too bothered exploring. Not even a lick. Hasn't licked at all. Yeah, I'm pretty sure we're good. She would have done it by now if she was going to lick the soil. So there you go. That's what I do to check if my geckos or bearded dragons are sand eaters or not. It's one of the easiest techniques I've found to find it, but it's no way bulletproof, okay? It's just my way of doing a very simple test at the start. You always need to keep an eye on them, and you've always got to make sure that they're not eating the sand and stuff like that, because impaction is very bad. But this is a little tip that I've found of how to spot it early if they do have it. But yeah, I don't want to say it's the bulletproof way, because I don't want anybody moaning at me if it didn't work properly or something like that. But it's a good way of spotting it early when you first introduce them to sand. Thank you everybody. I know it's a lot of talking today and maybe it might be a little bit boring, but it was kind of more of an information video on impaction for sand. Well, prevent testing if they're going to eat sand. Some sort of words like that. I'm too tired to think about proper words. But yeah, that's my best way of doing it so far that I've found. So yeah, if anyone else has any other techniques of finding out and stuff like that, let me know. I'm always open to new techniques to try. And if it's really cool, I'll try it on a video. But yeah, there we go everybody. Please like, subscribe, comment, share, ring the bell for me. If you want to watch another video, it should be down there. If you want to subscribe to the channel, it's up there. If you want to watch a playlist, it's up there. Apart from that, I'll see you in the future. Bye.